Okay, Taurus, so let's talk about your astrology before we jump into the tarot reading. I'm going to make this bigger and I'll just toggle around so that you can see the whole chart. So I just pulled a chart for where the planets are at this current time, so where they are today. I'm doing this reading on August 26th, and I just made Taurus the rising sign so we can see where these planets end up for you. So if you're a Taurus rising, or you've got Sun in the first house, this is a good reading to look at. So you can watch the tarot readings for your sign, but you want to know your rising sign. And if you need to know your rising sign, if you need any help, email me or put a comment below, or you can just Google natal charts, free birth charts, and you need to know your time of birth. So when you put in your time of birth, you'll get your rising sign. Your rising, if you're a Taurus, your rising sign may not be Taurus. So you want to watch the video according to what your rising sign is. And this is just a chart pull based on a whole house system. So Taurus, one of the first things, one of the major things that's going on is you have Uranus in the first house. So Taurus, your life, your body, how you look, how you feel about yourself, and the freedom and independence that you want may be drastically changing. You may feel an urge or a need for independence in a way that you've never felt before, an urge or a need to go out and interact with different people and kind of explore and understand things about the world so that you in turn understand things about yourself a little bit more. So I think Taurus, Uranus just went into your sign. I believe it was either the end of 2018 or sometime at the beginning of 2019. And I think you are going to see drastic changes in your life because of Uranus there. And those change can even bring changes to your relationships, because the seventh house is the opposite from the first house. So they have a pull on each other. While in the first house you have individuality and who we are as a self, in the seventh house you have your relationships and the people that you have deep connections, partnerships, marriages, and things like that with. And if you can imagine having Uranus in the first house, and wanting that freedom and going through drastic changes that have a lot to do with the personal identity in the self, is going to make a pull, and it's going to put some stress on your partnerships or what's going on in the seventh house. As we change as people, you may get into partnerships based on one thing, but as you find yourself changing and seeking more freedom, that can threaten our relationships and our partnerships. So you guys may be going through themes of individuality versus partnerships with Uranus in that first house. You guys also may be changing something drastically with your body or your looks or something like that. Maybe you guys are going to a hairstyle that you've never had before. Maybe you guys have lost a lot of weight. Maybe you guys have gained a lot of weight. So a lot of that stuff kind of going on. Maybe you guys are looking at, maybe your views on love and passion are different because you do have Uranus in your sign, training the planets in Virgo right now. So we've got Mars in Virgo, we've got the Sun in Virgo, we've got Venus in Virgo, and then Mercury will be moving into Virgo shortly. So I think some of those things are, if it hasn't come up, some of the changes that you're going through with your own self and your relationships and your love life and your creativity and how those things come, because Virgo is on your fifth house. Those things are going to start to come up, and they might come up as you explore different passionate relationships. There might be something going on where you want open relationships, you want to deal with different people. So just a lot of fire and passion coming when it comes to your creativity and what you're looking for. And again, this is for Taurus rising. If you have Taurus in another house, it's not your first house of your chart, you may see that Uranus affecting you a little bit different in different areas of your life. So just keep in mind, you need your birth time to know your rising sign. Just because you're a Taurus sun does not mean you're a Taurus rising. And then that's going to be making a trine aspect with Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, which is up in your ninth house. So you really have some different visions, some things where you're getting in touch with yourself more, you're learning yourself more, and you are changing from the person that you used to be into these different thought frames and these thought processes, and you're trying to stabilize that and come up totally ingrain that in the foundation of your life. And Saturn and Pluto are helping you do that. Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, and then Uranus, those major changes, these are outer planets. So these changes have been coming for some time. And it's not necessarily easy, and the transitions may be a little bit difficult. But the most important thing to remember is to be true to who you are. Because if you aren't true to who you are, then you're going to find difficulties later on down the road. I'm not going to too much touch on the moon. The moon is in Cancer in the third house for Taurus rising, but the moon moves so fast. I'm not really going to talk about that placement because that won't really be valid a couple days after I do this video. The moon is in Cancer today. I'm doing the video, but the moon moves through a sign in about 2 to 3 days. So it's not going to be there for a long time. So I want to go up and talk about Sagittarius. You're on your 8th house in Jupiter, which is now direct in Sagittarius. So you guys may find that you have some beneficial things or some money or some good luck coming to you now from other people. So while it is you're going through these things that have to do with your identity and yourself and your body and your looks and how you feel about things and your spirituality and how you think about life and your partnerships, relationships, the things you do for fun, what you're doing in your extracurricular activities, and how those things define you and what you have unhealthy ties to and what you want to have healthy ties to going forward. Sagittarius is there just to help you financially and to help you with other people coming in and helping you with some of these things. So you may find that you have good money that comes to you through partnerships, through things owed to you, debts, taxes, bills, all that kind of stuff. You may be having some good luck, and you may find that you really are going deeper spiritually, and because of that Jupiter going direct in your 8th house there. So maybe just digging deeper spiritually and really coming up with some epiphanies and some realizations that really help you move forward on your path in life. We talked about Capricorn and all that stuff that is going on in your 9th house. So you guys may want, like I talked about, spirituality, religion, understanding, education. You guys may really business. You may be looking in places you haven't looked before, or you may be making connections with people who aren't in your immediate social circle to solidify business or make new business connections, or just looking for something that's not necessarily close to you, that may be a little far off. You may be making business connections with people across the country or in different countries and things of that nature. You want to beware and just keep an eye on your friends and things like that and your associations. Some people may not be, you've got Neptune and Pisces in the 11th house. So some people may not be, who you thought they were, or you may be coming to realize as you work on yourself, you discover more about people there. And a lot of things with Chiron here in your 12th house, a lot of things that you need to heal, or a lot of discoveries you're making is helping you actually change and push through this whole Uranus in Taurus. And for you guys that are Taurus rising, Uranus in the first house, a lot of that energy is coming from really going inside and thinking about what your fears are, some of those fears that you want to let go, looking at evaluating people in your life, and just really, really facing some of your fears deep down inside, because you've got Chiron up here in your 12th and in Aries. So a lot of things that are hidden and that people may not necessarily see towards is what you're really deeply, and that's kind of what I was talking about with Sag and Jupiter going direct over here in your 8th. Things that you're feeling deeply, those things are coming to the surface, and you're not going to be able to hold them back. And while it may cause some issues and some troubles and partnerships and things like that going on, I think you're going to have a lot of self-discoveries that are fun. I think you're going to enjoy the creative things that you find out about yourself. And I think you're going to take a look at how you spend your time, what you're passionate about, and the things you truly love. And you're going to bring that more to the outside instead of kind of holding it in and not being who you truly want to be, or showing or doing what you're truly passionate about. So that could be careers, relationships, just everything. So Taurus, I hope that helps a little bit as we go into September, where the astrology is. Of course, to know what aspects this is making to your chart and how it's really going to affect you. You need your natal, because these aren't you guys' natal planets. These are just today's planets. So I'm not talking about any aspects to your natal planets, just talking about where the current transit planets are for you. And that could be understood a little bit deeper with superimposing that on your natal planets and just seeing the connections and the aspects that they make. So this is just some general energy for Taurus rising with where the planets currently are at this time. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful fall. I wish you the best in September. Don't worry, life is ups and downs. You'll work through these changes and you're going to be a super beautiful person. I'm sure you guys are already beautiful, but a super beautiful person when Uranus finishes with you. So stay tuned, stick around. Your tarot reading is up next. And thank you, Taurus, for tuning in. Hang tight. Here comes your tarot reading. Hey Taurus, how's it going? Welcome to Frequency for Video. This is your girl Madam X, and we're going to do your tarot reading for September. The astrology is in the beginning of the video, so I hope you enjoyed that and it helps you through the month of September. For all of my signs, there's kind of been a theme of moving house, moving on, moving up, moving from. So however you want to take that term of moving and however that applies to your life, that has been what I've been seeing going on. So we just want to take a look. It's Virgo season, it's Virgo month. So a lot of energy, good energy out there for you earth signs, Taurus. At some point this month, you guys do have Uranus in your sign. So there will be a trine aspect going on between the sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury. All that's going to be hitting Uranus. So it's probably going to be kind of busy for you, Taurus. A lot of unexpected things are going to go on while you have that Uranus in Taurus, finding different ways to do the things that you do every day, different perspectives on life, different ways of looking at things, different ways of getting things done. So kind of going through one of those changes in life where you see a different perspective, or where you have some awakening, or you just are enlightened to see things a different way. So let's just see. In Aries reading, they had all their cards upright and the spread was looking pretty good. But for Taurus, like I talked about, there is a such thing as moving on. And what's funny is my card positions, I read these however they come out and from whatever feeling I get on these card positions. But technically I was doing positions for the angular houses of the chart, the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th. And for Aries reading, for some reason I was looking at this as the 1st, the 7th, the 10th, and the 12th. I incorporated the 12th house in their reading, which was good because it showed me some things about their subconscious fears, how they may have been self-sabotaging or whatever the case. And I'm going to draw one more card because I want to put the 12th house in the reading. So I'm going to draw one more, and I'm going to look at this as the 4th. I skipped the 4th house for Aries, but the 12th house must have been more important for those. But I think so that we can see just some of the hidden fears, the way you may be self-sabotaging, we're going to draw a card for the 12th house. And just looking at what's going on, Taurus, I feel like you may feel like the things you don't know anymore, or there's something that you've discovered either about yourself in relation to other people in your life, or just something about what you knew. And I'm telling you, 2s are coming out strong in the readings. Here's another 2 because we have the High Priestess in reverse. So to me, that talks a lot about either maybe there's a woman in your life who isn't who you thought they were. Something is coming out about a woman in your life. You're realizing something either emotionally or spiritually. You're going through an emotional or spiritual change. You could be dealing with somebody that's a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer that you may have been falling out with. And it just doesn't have to be that person's sun sign. It could be their moon. It could be their rising. So don't always take that as a literal, oh, there has to be a water sign person in your life. No, because it could fall in some other place in your chart. So this could just represent a female in your life, period. It could represent you just not knowing what you thought you knew anymore, or not being so quiet. Maybe it is a time for you to be vocal. And I did get that feeling for Taurus. I feel like it's a time for you to let things out, for you to be more vocal about things, because I feel like there's some sadness going on in your home life. You feel a loss when it comes to your home life and something that's going on in your home, but not all is lost. But there is, I feel like, Taurus, you may be going through something emotional and you just aren't feeling fulfilled. Maybe you're not feeling fulfilled in your career. I feel like maybe there's an offer or there's something that has to do with your career that then ties into your home life and you just don't feel satisfied. So between the self, the home, and relationship, there's something going on where you aren't comfortable in your home. You're not feeling satisfied in your home. You're not feeling valued. Maybe you don't feel like you have a lot to offer, or what's being offered to you you don't want to accept, because I have the Five of Cups and then I have the Knight of Cups in reverse right under that. So it's something that's not being offered to you, something you're not offering. It's something, or maybe you don't want to move on, maybe because something is just not as good as it was in the past, or not as good as something that you're comparing it to. And you may have felt like something inside, subconsciously, you may have felt like you've lost your magic, or something's lost its magic, something doesn't have the spark, or you're not able to create something that you really, really want to create. You're not able to manifest something that you really, really want to manifest. And you've been having hard conversations, hard talks. Things have not been easy when it's come to relationships in your life, but there's a need to communicate. There's a need to communicate to get on the same mental level. But I feel like communications that have been going on may have been a little harsh, and nothing has come out of them. Nothing that you feel like is really worth your time, or that's bringing you the satisfaction that you're looking for. So I see a lot of opposing feelings and thoughts, Taurus. I feel like there's something emotional going on for you in September. There's a lot of communication and you're exchanging words with people, and you may even find yourself getting in arguments because there's a difference of opinion. There's just a difference of opinion. And Taurus, I don't really think you want to play any games. I think you want to be outright. And maybe it is something that you want to offer, or you want to move on in some sort of way, but you can't do that until you release and until you kind of tie up whatever these issues that are going on, that are causing you to feel this way. Maybe something you're seeing, maybe something you're looking at, maybe it's some information you've come across or you've gotten. So Taurus, you may be doing some spying, I feel like you may be doing some spying. You may be doing some looking into other people's communications, their phones, or something like that. And there's some level of disappointment that you are feeling, Taurus. And I think it really, really has to do deeply with how you feel deep down inside about some issue. I mean, this is a deep rooted, you got the 7th house on the 7th house. This is a deep rooted issue that you're feeling, and it has to do with what's going on in your heart and your mind. And when it comes to your relationships with other people, the give and take. So the give and take that's going on in your home, or the level of intimacy that's going on in your home, you feel a loss. So maybe you don't feel as intimate with somebody that you're in a relationship with, or that you cohabitate with, or that you just share property with, or something like that. There could even have been a loss when it comes to the home or property or money or something like that. There could be a really deep loss. There could be a lack of sex. There could just be something that's not emotionally fulfilling when it comes to you and what's going on inside your household. And it has everything to do with this communication, this how you relate to others in your relationship. So maybe somebody that's really close to you, there's just not that communication going on, or there's just some arguments going on right now, or something like that. There's some forcefulness, there's some underhandedness, there's some spying, or maybe there's some things that's going on, you're just really not talking to them, and you may be sort of making things up in your head. When you don't have communication, we start to make things up in our head, and we can get caught up in illusions, just thinking back to the past, like I said, comparing the situation to things that have been going on in the past. Really, Taurus, you may even be having thoughts and visions and realizations at this time right now, and it may be hard for you to draw a line between what's reality and what's going on up in your head. And I feel like you guys are really trying to cut through the bullshit and really understand what's going on in your life, what is concrete, and then where you are to go from there, and how you can manifest and make things happen and just change how you're feeling, because you may feel like there's something going on in your head that you just can't bring into your reality, or something that's just really plaguing your mind, and it will not let you be at your fullest to manifest. But I think maybe with the semi-sextile card, you guys should rely on those that are close to you, maybe those who are in your proximity, in your circle. Maybe there's something that you guys need to explore on a deeper level, spiritually or emotionally, that will allow you to have be in a better mental place about where you are in your life right now, because maybe you're just not in a good mental place with where you are in your relationship right now. You feel a lack. You feel like you didn't know some information, or you didn't know something, and there's a need to gain more information when it comes to the other people in your life. You could be going through losing people in your life, and like I talked about, finding out secrets. I had the High Priestess with the Scorpio card, doing your due diligence, spying, looking into something in an intellectual way so that you can uncover certain information, because Scorpio is all about secret, and Scorpio is also your opposite sign. So I feel like you guys may be giving off even some Scorpio energy this month when it comes to the things you hold close, the things you're passionate about, being intimate. There's just a really lack of satisfaction when it comes to the magic. Like, I'm really feeling like passion, the magic, those things that you may have had in the past. There's such a lack of emotion and just feeling. And Taurus, you may be going through something right now where you're feeling even to the point of feeling kind of numb about a situation, and I feel like that has a lot to do with your relationship, maybe arguments, not seeing eye to eye with a relationship partner, maybe something not turning out how you thought it would turn out. And I think it has a lot to do with secrets, intimacy, sex, and just things you may not know, and information you may not know, and things you're finding out. I mean, you have Uranus in your sign, and Uranus definitely is going to bring different ways and different perspectives of viewing things, and it comes by viewing others, seeing how others operate, really analyzing other people, and then taking that in and saying, wow, how does this affect my life? And when you reflect on other people like that, it makes you come back and just have a deeper thought of what's going on in your world and how you handle situations and things like that. So I think you're really introspective this week. I think you're introspective, and you are observing others in order to decide what it is that you guys need to do and what direction you need to go in. And here we got a 2 again. We got another 2 again. So about wisdom, like I talked about, going inside. The High Priestess card represents wisdom, and we got this in reverse. And then we got the 22s. Twos are really a theme this month. I'm getting a lot of twos, a lot of sixes in readings for people. A lot of twos, sixes, and sevens. So just twos, relationships, relating how we view others and how we view ourselves. But this talks about wisdom. So I think, Taurus, you are trying to find information that's going to help you make some decisions about just people in your life, make decisions about what it is that you want to do. But I'm feeling like there may be a lack of wisdom that you feel you have, a lack of information that you feel you have, and or you may be imparting this wisdom upon other people. You may actually get to a point in September where you're going to be expressing yourself, you're going to be talking, you're going to come to some truths that are going to set you free. Because again, on the fourth house, I feel some sort of sadness going on in the home life. I feel some kind of looking back at the past, or looking at what it is that you don't have, or maybe ways that you could have went wrong. But I think really deeply thinking about these things and thinking about what's going on will allow you to set yourself free. Like I talked about, a lot of things for September is going to be moving on, freedom, freeing yourself up from some of the emotional burdens. And even this eighth house, the eighth house also represents Scorpio. Scorpio is the eighth sign. Even though this is on the fourth house, you got Scorpio here and you got Scorpio here. So this is talking a lot about secrets, intimacy. It even says stalking, mysteries, and obsessions on the card. So you could be looking for reasons to set yourself free from somebody, maybe really deep, thinking about deep down inside of yourself what it is that you really want. And this may be a focus on your passions and what truly, truly fulfills you from the inside out. Not how things look on the outside, but what really inside, how you know you feel. And I think you want to create a better place in your relationship. You're trying to create a relationship the way you want it, or what is going to take to please you, and having communications to try to create something better and what it is that you need. Taurus, I think you're trying to communicate with somebody to work it out and say, hey, this is what I need to make me happy, and what is it going to take to make you happy? Let's create this happiness. Let's create this relationship. So you guys may want to create a relationship with someone. Maybe there's someone that you've been thinking about that you really do want to be intimate and you want to build with it, because you want to make a happier home. You want to release this feeling of feeling hurt, or like you're missing out on something, or like, something just is not going right from your past. A feeling, I feel a feeling of sadness and melancholy when it comes to just how people see you, what you're getting from the world, how people view you, and what they pour into you to fill you up. But before other people can pour into you, you've got to pull into yourself. And if you want a better life, if you want things to go better in your relationships, at work, and how people view you, you've got to take some action, because it's not what you say, it's what you do. And again, this is 6:15. It's not what you say, it's what you do. So it's the things that you actually do and you put into motion that is going to persuade how other people see you. It's going to influence how other people see you. So you've got to come out of your head and be a little bit more active. What I'm showing is, with this Knight of Cups in reverse, there's nothing moving. There's no offers being made. There's no action. So you may feel stagnant or stalemate in your career, or just getting your just dues from somebody, or for somebody to really truly see you for who you are and realize what you've been contributing to the situation. So it leaves you with a lack and with nothing to offer. You feel like you've got nothing's going out and nothing's coming in. You're not getting and you're not giving. It's like, if somebody else isn't going to give to me, well, I'm not giving anything to them. And you're staying in your head and making up these scenarios and situations. But what you really need to do is show some action. If you want something to work, you make it work. If something needs to end so you can move on and really truly be fulfilled, that's what you do too. I don't see a energy of being stagnant with you. I feel like there needs to be communication to resolve whatever it is that's going on. Communication is going to be your key. So you guys like I said, you may be dealing with water signs out there, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, there needs to be some sense of communication, because right now you guys aren't feeling good emotionally and you may not feel like you have a lot to give. And then the 12th house, I got the card of beauty. So this is a nice card to have come out, the beauty card, which is also the number 2. So there may be something going on right now, Taurus, where internally inside you don't feel as beautiful. You don't feel as good as a person. Like I said, you feel like you're lacking the magic, and it really reminds me of Austin Powers trying to get his mojo back. So there may be a lack of mojo, and Taurus, that may be because you may be highly invested in looks. Maybe you're really invested in some people's looks. Maybe there's a superficial thing going on with you where either you yourself, you've got that ego, like, hey, I'm just the shit, I'm beautiful, people need to bow down to me. Or there's an egotistical thing where you're looking for that in someone else. Or maybe something in your life just lacks the beauty. It lacks the Venus element, because Venus does rule beauty. And with me having a magician in reverse, are you playing games with people, or people playing games with you? Or do you just truly feel like you've lost your mojo and you want to get it back, and there's just something that's lacking that you can't? And I just literally mentioned ego, and then we get the ego. I feel like and that's another 6. A lot of this spread is about collaboration, trying to build stability, working together, giving and taking, fulfillment. Like, how much do you feel? I just got another 6 of Wands, talking about a victory. I'm trying to have a victory in a relationship realm. I got the 9 of Wands, so protection in the career realm, and then life experience. I got the 7 in the 12th house. So I feel like there has really been some things that you've been through in your life that's really causing you to have to go really deep inside, check your ego, check how you relate to other people, to really check yourself. And I think life experiences have humbled you, and you may be holding up a wall because you're trying to protect yourself and protect your heart. And you may be doing that with people in your home life, in your career life, and all of those kind of things. And I think it's leaving you kind of feeling beating and battered, and a lot of bruises, and it could be from your past. So you got the 6 of Cups, again, something from the past. So I think a lot of what's on your mind, and that you guys are coming to grips with, the feelings that are coming out, is you're having a lot of realizations and wisdom when it comes to that past relationship, or some things that have gone on in your past, because this could be past with your family, with your kids. And the 6 of Wands says children or childhood, the return of people or romances from your past, remembering events differently, in a better or worse light than how they really occurred. And this is what we talked about, like some of that Neptune, some of that being in your head, having certain visions and dreams, and being in like that dream state and up in your head. Sometimes when you think back to the past, you remember things better than they were, or you remember things worse than they were. And I think that has a lot to do with your self-reflection right now, and the different changes that you're going through in your head mentally. A lot of this is reflecting on your past. I think you have a lot of things from your past and your life experiences popping up. And in your home, any discomfort you're going through in your home, it has something to do with ego. So you and a partner, the intimacy and something like that, somebody is either damaging your ego, or you're damaging something else, or something was a blow to your ego in the home, or from the past, or what's going on in the present, and it's really got you not functioning and not feeling free. You feel like you're bound, or you're chained to something that really ties into how you feel about yourself, and that kind of touches you at the core of your being and who you are. And the ego card says the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear or worry. So there may be something in the home that attracted it to you materially, or just something really egotistical has to do with your home life, but you realize that's not satisfying, and it's not deep enough. And as a Taurus, I mean, you probably thought it would be, because you are about the money. You are all about stability. But I think you find something in your material life is not providing the happiness and the fulfillment that you thought it was. And then you're trying to create a victory in the love life. You're trying to create a victory in the partnerships. You're trying to work together, and you are trying to collaborate in your partnerships by communicating. Because we have, and I'm sorry, you didn't have the Six of Wands, you had the Six of Winter. This is also a card of moving on. This is swords. This is communication. And I got that with the communication card. So you got to move on. You got to let something go. You got to walk away. You got to move away from the past. And it's going to be a lot of talking and decisions and communication and fast actions going on when it comes to these partnerships and dealing with other people. And the Six of Winter card says positive changes are on their way. A welcome relief from troubled time, traveling or relocating. We talked about moving. So you guys may need to get away. You may need a vacation. You may need to move out of this home environment that's got you depressed and feeling bad over there. Over here, maybe a change of location, a change of residence, a change of something will help you guys feel better. So I feel like there's some swift action when it comes to your home and your partnership. You guys may be moving. You may be moving location, trying to save a relationship, trying to expand a relationship, or you may be moving out of a relationship, because the sevens come out very strong in this partnership in this home. I feel a lot about that, and I think you guys are getting beat up in the career, and you're just trying to make some good career decisions, and that may be another thing that weighs on the worth that you feel about yourself, your ego, the material items. Maybe that's why you have to realize material items aren't all that, because you're going through some financial difficulties. Maybe you've had to depend on a partner, and it's really making you feel a lack and making you feel powerless. Maybe someone else in a relationship has the control and the power right now because of what you're going through financially. And the Nine of Spring says, protect the fruits of your labor. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. So, and you guys may have ideas of wanting to do something more positive for the environment. I know the forest is burning. The Amazon is burning right now. They say the farmers are burning off to clear off land for food and cattle. You know, this meat issue is a big thing, and just how it's not sustainable. And the Amazon provides 20% or more about the oxygen to the earth. So it's a big deal going in the pollution in the waters and the recycling. And I know where I live in the state of Maryland, in Baltimore, trash has been a big thing, but there's been issues with trash and trash problems throughout different cities in the country or throughout the world. So trash and just pollution and environmental issues have been a really big issue. And some of that stuff may be on your mind, Taurus, because what's going on in your current job, it's just not bringing you to satisfaction. But remember, you have to act. You have to show. I know you want to protect yourself. You want to protect what's going on, but there's got to be some action with it. So protect yourself, but still go above and beyond and do the best job that you can, and really go in the direction you want to go in towards, and anything can happen. So you guys may be looking for a complete career change. Maybe you guys want to do something that you always dreamt of, and it now would be a great time to do it because you're not feeling fulfilled where you currently are. And in the 12th house, again, life experiences. I think you realize everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that's beautiful on the outside isn't beautiful on the inside. Maybe there's a deep beauty and a deep love and appreciation that you really have up in your mind that you're longing for, or this may somehow interfere with your relationship. So maybe being too superficial and having that egotistical view of people and things causes you to lose out on deeper bonds and connections. And life experiences is another 7, back to the relationships and just going through trials and tribulations. I feel like you guys really are going through, realizing some really deep thoughts and realizations when it comes to your relationships and what's been going on in your life, and things that you hide and you don't express to other people. And life experiences, let go of belief systems that no longer work for you. An important life-changing an event. A situation that leads to significant opportunities. So whatever you're going through now, even if you feel powerless, you feel sad inside towards you're not expressing that to anybody, just know what you're going through is meant to be. It's going to lead you into a more positive place. It's going to open up the door for opportunities that you didn't think were there, and it's going to open up a way for communication and for you to move on. And I think there's two things for Tauruses to really keep at the forefront of your mind for September is communicating with the other people in your life, with people you're in relationships in, have been in relationships with. There's a air of communication that you're going to need to create a path for you to move on and to move forward and let go of some of the baggage and some of these ways where you're really protecting yourself. I think it'll give you some of your power back, some of your magic back to communicate and really find out what's what. Seek and go deeper. You got a lot of Scorpio in this reading. You know, even even the High Priestess in reverse, this could be the Cancer, the Scorpio, or the Pisces. I've heard people refer to it as any either or. You know, so there's a lot of Scorpio, there's a lot of water, there's a need to go in, and there's a need to dig deeper into the emotions, to really tap into your opposite sign and into that energy of Scorpio. And if I were you, I would just read up about Taurus and Scorpio being the opposite so you can understand what is really going on inside of you, because that opposite sign energy can come off as shadow energy a lot of times. So you may act in ways Scorpio acts and not even realize how you do it. And it may be in a shadow way or of the lower nature, but there's a need to go in deeper and get really, really intimate to the core of things, even if it means a total clearing or crumbling of whatever is currently going on in your life to rebuild it stronger and on a firmer and foundation based on something much deeper and much stronger, because that is what Scorpio is all about, and it's about the truth. So you guys may be doing a lot of truth seeking, and that may be why you're looking, why you're spying, why you're trying to gather information, because you guys may be doing a lot of truth seeking that you really haven't got from the communication, so that you can get yourself back and your power back. So I wish you the best in September. Like I said, all of these things we talked about, I feel like that's going to happen in September is going to come to fruition. You will get clarity. You will get information, because a lot of the signs are over there in Virgo. We've got Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. We've got Uranus and Taurus. So all of that is going to be training this month. It's going to be some heavy energy out there for the earth signs. And I think some things are going to start moving and shaking and communicating for you earth signs. And it may really challenge. You may see your life change in drastic ways with some of this energy that's gonna come in September. And I'm always interested to hear what's going on in your life. I'd like you to comment below about the video. Keep my video circulating. Give it a thumbs up. Comment below. Email me at tarothelpnow@gmail.com if you want to talk on a personal level and get a personal reading and talk more about the stuff that's going on. And visit my website at Earth Sky Star, and you can book a personal reading out there, and you can put a deposit down. So even if you don't have all of the money at the time, you can put a deposit down and pay the rest before we do the reading, and we can get into some deeper talks. I was watching somebody's tarot video, and I think I've heard like a couple people say, you know, they're getting a lot of psychic messages. You know, the veil is really thin around this time, and I believe I feel a whole different way when we go into fall. I'm a summer baby, but I really look forward to the fall season that Libra ushers in. And Virgo season, September, is when you get that feel of the fall as you first start to go into it. You know, the weather starts to cool down a bit. You kind of smell that fall in the air. And I just feel like it's a time where a lot of messages are coming through. I know it's been a heavy psychic time for me. A time where messages are just coming and things are just too many coincidences. Like, you got to call it psychic, because it's too many coincidences to actually call them coincidences. So the veil is very thin. I think a lot of messages and truths and psychic things are going on right now. And we'll have to come back in another video and just discuss why that is, as far as the planets and different things, the planetary energy that's going on right now that opens up certain portals for energy to flow through. So Taurus, I wish you the best. If you are cross watching, everybody else out there, stay tuned. I'm doing the readings from Aries through Taurus and Gemini through Pisces. And Gemini, you're up next. Deuces.